Hi, my name is Victoria. I'm going to talk to you about the paper that I wrote today. We will be talking about the cross-sectionality of oppression. Being a woman is only part of the story. So first, I talked a lot about socialization because I feel like that's a lot of the underlying problems that we have with oppression and with just inequality in general in the United States and honestly probably all over the world as well. Specifically, I started talking about how we are being socialized before we're even born. Our parents kind of have this idea of what they want our kid to be like. If we have a girl, do we want her to be in sports? Do we want her to be more girly, or do we want her to be more maybe sporty or ballet, or you're buying her colors pink and flowers and cute things like that. And this all happens in the minds of our parents and all of our family before we're even born. Something that recently has popped up is these gender reveal parties, making gender such a very large thing that parents find out when they know they're having children. I think that's really interesting because it kind of shows culturally how much significance we put on our gender, on, kind of like the life trajectory we expect our children to go through, what we want for them. I talk about, a lot of other things, like when you're a child, like you're given specific type of toys to play with. Little girls can have little play kitchen sets, or the easy bake oven. That's a really good example of kind of socializing women for their role, as they get older, showing them that that is their norm. And the same for little boys. Like, little boys can't play with dolls, little boys shouldn't wear pink, and they shouldn't cry because that makes them, more feminine. These are all things that really are based in our culture, not really based in anything scientific that I have seen. I've been studying sociology for the last 3 years, I think, and it seems like, really depending on what culture you're in, throughout the entire world, like, what we see gender as changes. Also, with the video we watched about the, I forgot what tribe it was, the Native American genders, I thought that was super interesting because I really just had never thought about the fact that, maybe there's not just like these two specific things that you fit into, that leaves all these other people that feel like they don't fit into a specific category out. I thought that was a really interesting video. Another thing that kind of socializes children before and during their childhood is religion, I feel like. I grew up like in the Bible Belt, and you're kind of expected to act and behave a certain way based on your parents' religion and all your family's religion and the communities that they put you in. So whether that is, I know circumcision is a very big issue recently, and well, maybe not recently, probably like the last 20 years, but whether it's right or wrong, because it's not really your choice for the baby whether or not they're getting circumcised. It's all about based on the parents' beliefs and on the parents' religion. So all this kind of plays a factor into how you see yourself and how you feel like you fit into the world around you. Everything you base your ideas on is based on your socialization, unless you're able to kind of like take a step back and critically look at, oh, I think that I'm feeling this way because I remember as a child I was told that, for example, for me, as a child, I grew up in an all-woman household, and we were told, be polite, be quiet, and that usually meant not just being polite, all these undertones of like, don't complain, don't make a scene, don't speak out for yourself. I feel like that happens to a lot of, probably not just women, but at least where I grew up, a lot of girls are kind of taught to be just a little bit more giving and like nurturing and not be loud and not really, tell everybody what you want, which I feel like can be kind of damaging, obviously. I also talked about in my paper ageism. I think the main thing that stuck out to me, I just thought it was super interesting, is the The article where the woman talks about being an older lesbian, I thought that was super interesting because I'd never really thought about. I myself don't plan on having children. I don't plan on getting married, so I never have thought about the fact that that's going to change what my old age looks like, and how this, like, the system that they have set up is really for people who are married and then they have children and their husbands work and they have Social Security, and I'm not going to have any of that. So I feel like it's not really equal, and to put all of our lives based and all of what we should be getting Social Security wise and government wise based on like this ideal American, it's kind of interesting to think about, and I've never really thought about that in that light before. I also talked a lot about social justice in general, and the article that stood out the most to me regarding social justice was there is no hierarchy of oppression and teaching for diversity and social justice. The hierarchy for oppression one was very interesting in one page, which I thought was super cool. I always like kind of take my ideas and what I believe in, and I kind of have it in this little box, and like, oh, I don't want to be, you shouldn't be prejudiced against these people and just this, and then I look at all these new social issues arising, and you kind of don't really see how they're interconnected. But this article was interesting because they are kind of interconnected, because with oppressing one group and not the other, and these people have identities that are all, maybe your color or a certain ethnicity, and you're also religious, but you're also a lesbian, and these things all connect, and we're all part of society, so we kind of all connect anyway. I think that's it's just an interesting thing to think about, and it kind of shows that really we should be fighting for everyone's rights, for everyone's equality, not just what we think will kind of help us the most. So yeah, I think that's about it for me. This class has been pretty interesting, and I really hope you like my paper. Thank you.